Hello everyone and welcome to another Friday Ramble. I must start with an apology that I've still got rather a croaky voice. Been suffering a bit all this week. I feel fine, but I've just got this croaky voice. So that's why I sound a bit strange. Anyway, I hope you've had a good week. It's been a very good week choral-wise. I don't know whether any of you caught the first night of the proms, the mini proms that the BBC are running last Friday, with that wonderful Vaughan Williams symphony that Simon Rattle conducted, which is just epic, so wonderful. But also the amazing performance by the BBC singers of Eric Whittaker's Sleep, which worked so well and was so emotional and powerful. And I've read so many reports of people being just absolutely thrilled to see some choral music back on the TV, live choral music back on the TV. I had a lovely note from Sue Bartholomew in Wareham, who sings with our Come and Sing group, saying that the Wareham Church Choir had started back last week and they had 10 or so singers who sang a little anthem and some hymns up in the chancel. So that's very encouraging. And as we look around the country, I see that a lot of the cathedrals are starting up again this weekend with choral evensong, starting gently with the men and then bringing in the choristers again. Not necessarily a full programme, but they're trying to get as close to daily evensong as possible. And I think our own Diocesan Cathedral at Salisbury are starting this weekend as well. I'm just thinking, my brain. So that's all really encouraging and fantastic to see after such a long time away. And I hope that everything continues to be positive and develop further. So we shall see how we get on in Swanage soon as well. So I'll keep you posted on that. We have our online liturgy this week, and I believe that we're going to be doing that certainly through September. I know that the times of the services in St Mary's are going to be the same, and the other churches in the parish are going to be the same for September. And then we'll obviously look at how that develops after that. So keep an eye out on the website, www.swanageteam, and all the details are there, plus news from John, his blog. So do visit it if you're not a regular visitor to that. Good. So I was thinking of a piece of music that I could recommend to you this week. I'm glad that lots of you enjoyed the Bairstow last week, which is wonderful. I was thinking that, well, actually, the reason I chose this piece was because on Saturday of this week, we're actually going to have a wedding in St Mary's. It's the first one for many, many months. And although there'll only be a limited number of guests and they'll only be allowed to mime the hymns. In fact, I'm going to play a selection of their favourite hymns before the service starts. And then they're also going to have one or two recordings of worship songs which people can sit and listen to. So it'll be a bit odd, but again, it's a start in the right direction, and it's lovely that the couple have decided to go ahead with their wedding. But it made me think about Psalm 23, which occurs during that service, and I suppose Psalm 23 must be one of the most set texts, be it hymns or anthems. Obviously, Crimond is the most well known, Brother James Eyre. And as far as anthems are concerned, contemporary anthems, of course, in the last 20 years, Howard Goodall has made his mark with a theme tune from The Vicar of Dibley, which is so wonderful and has become a sort of, in the repertoire now, quite standard. Lovely, lovely tune. Howard is very good at writing tunes. And so his Psalm 23 has become, rightly, very popular. But another setting with which you might not be so familiar is an anthem that was written in 1975, and it was actually written for the 900th anniversary of the foundation of Chichester Cathedral, and it was commissioned by the then Dean Walter Hussey, who really was a patron of the arts. He's the guy that commissioned Lo the Full Final Sacrifice, Britain's Rejoice in the Lamb, pieces like that. Amazing. And this setting of The Lord is My Shepherd is by Lennox Berkeley, who was a very interesting composer. He was the father of Michael Berkeley, the BBC broadcaster and composer that you might be familiar with now. Lennox Berkeley was interesting because he was one of a select group of composers back in the sort of 1930s, 40s, who didn't want to study in England, but he went to Paris. I think his mother's family lived in France, but he went to Paris to study with Nadia Boulanger, and also he studied and became acquainted with Poulenc and with Stravinsky, and he actually studied with Ravel, pretty heavyweight names there. So his music reflects particularly the sort of neoclassical style of Stravinsky. But The Lord is My Shepherd is a really beautiful piece. It has a lovely treble solo, but the melody which you hear right at the beginning, interestingly, he uses a sort of a single line at the beginning, just like Howard does in his version, is extraordinarily beautiful, and the whole piece just sits together so well and reflects the text so beautifully. So I'm going to encourage you to listen to that, and if you like that, do explore some of his other music. He wrote a wonderful Missa Brevis, which very much is in the repertoire of a lot of cathedral choirs. He wrote 3 lovely Latin motets too, which are amazing. And in fact, I encountered him as a little boy when I was about 9, because the City of London Festival, I don't remember whether it was annual or not, but in 1970, I think it was, Lennox Berkeley wrote a Magnificat for the City of London Festival, and it was premiered by St Paul's Cathedral Choir and one of the London orchestras, and it was done in St Paul's. And Lennox Berkeley came to the choir school a few times to listen to us rehearse the piece, and I've still actually got the original copy that I used, and he signed it as well, so it's probably worth a bit of money now. But he was actually quite, my memory of him was he was quite a scary man. He looked a bit, I don't know whether you can remember what William Hartnell, the first Doctor Who, looked like, but I always remember Lennox Berkeley looking like that. I'm not sure he did actually, but that's in my mind's eye. And the thing I remember about him, and this is really silly, is he had very long fingernails, so he looked a bit scary. But the Magnificat was the most amazing piece, and I remember feeling very proud to sing in the first performance of that back in the day. So he's always been rather a favourite composer of mine. So have a listen to The Lord is My Shepherd and see how you get on, all right? So I'm going to disappear out of the kitchen downstairs to my piano. I think today you're going to have to do the singing and I'll just play the piano, because I think if I try and sing anything, you'll run away. I'll see you in a minute. So here I am at the trusted piano, and I just had a secret little try at singing without you hearing, and I think I'm going to have to leave you to it. It didn't sound good, and I wouldn't want you to hear it or put you off. So over to you. So how about if we start, should we just do some gentle yah, going that yah, yah. Okay, here we go, 3, 4. Yah, 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 yah. One more. Great. Okay. Just nice yah, yah, yah. And shall we just sing down a few scales to ah. Starting with C major. Okay, 3, 4. nice and relaxed. Two more. Oh, and the last one. And last of all, let's just do, you remember this exercise showing to R? Okay, 3, 4. Last one. Great. Short and sweet, but there you go. I hope you have a good week, and I will see you shortly, maybe in church or next week. Stay safe.